He who squints his eyes in search has obscure vision. I'm realizing now more than ever that, you know, the more we look, the more we lose. The more we try to find these parts of ourselves in the external, the more we lose the internal, the more we lose ourselves. We're constantly in a battle, attempting to find out who we are, find out the things we like, find out this, that, and the third. And we're looking externally. We're looking externally to find ways to value ourselves, to find ways to love ourselves. And I feel like you'll never have that satisfaction from the external world, at least in the sense that's going to stick with you and that's going to actually benefit you overall. All that to say that, we have to be more mindful. Be more mindful of how we look for things, how we allow ourselves to desire, how we allow ourselves to, react to our absences. We all have vacancies within us, and we have to decide what we fill them up with. We have to decide whether or not we're going to be intentional and fill it up with something positive and fill it up with something worthwhile, something that's from us. As long as you base your foundation on yourself, you will always have a platform to stand on. And I feel like it's when we look in that external, when we try to look for reasons to worth ourselves, look for, expressions, look for something in the world to show you that you're worth it. And I feel like the only thing, the most important thing in the world that can show you that you're worth it is yourself. I feel like we fail to acknowledge that we're a part of this too. As much as we seek validation from other people, as much as we seek validation from our parents, whatever it may be, you can give that to yourself. You too are a person. You too can react to yourself. You too can see yourself. You too can connotate yourself just like everyone else tries to. And your connotation is the one that matters the most. Your opinion is the one that matters the most. So you have to be super intentional with how you are just taking care of yourself in that regard. I feel like it's way too easy for us to kind of let ourselves go in the sense that we fail to acknowledge. And saying the more you look, the more you lose. I'm saying that, sort of like that vagabond quote. What is it? Preoccupied with a single leaf, you miss a tree. Preoccupied with a single tree, you miss the forest. We're losing a lot in reference to everything else. We look outside for so much, we fail to realize the depth we have inside. And that's not to say don't exist in an external sense. It's not to say don't appreciate everything around you in terms of, the beauty that life can offer in general. But it's saying realize the beauty within. I feel like the more we can acknowledge the beauty within, the more everything without is more beautiful. At least in my experience, that's how it is. The better I feel about myself, the more I can just feel that vibration of beauty. The vibration of just I'm up or I'm happy. I'm just glad that I woke up. Everything in life seems like a gift. Even in some ways, no, some ways, yes, but most of the time it feels like, there's so much to be appreciative of. If you knew today was your last day on earth, if you knew this was your last day, everything would be amazing. Everything would be beautiful, grand. It would have so much significance. But it's because we relate so much of who we are to the past and the future that we fail to realize the significance of the present day. The present just being. We get too lost. And I feel like allowing yourself to realize that, time doesn't really exist puts you on sort of the path to coming to these realizations. And it's not like I have everything figured out. I can only speak from my experience. But in a real sense, like, I know I recently have been looking sort of outward for expressions of not my own value, but not even my own worth. Just I've been looking outside for things to make me feel a certain way. When I realize that feeling has to come from you, and it's not really about intentionally like, I have to feel this way, focus on feeling, because that also messes you up. It's not about constantly trying to focus on the feeling. It's about being present. Setting an intention and then being present. Like saying to yourself, oh, I don't want to feel that way anymore. Tell yourself something nice and just be present after that. Focus on how you feel. Like watch your energy in a way. Like just watch how you're feeling. Watch where your attention is going, because where your attention goes, energy flows. Not even in necessarily like a super spiritual sense, but in the sense of like what you're allowing yourself to focus on is what you're preparing yourself for in the future. You focus on your longevity, you focus on yourself. You're going to be there in the future, so it's a good thing. Like it's only going to benefit you. You focus on things that don't serve you, focus on things that aren't you, that have nothing, that don't contribute to who you are or anything like that, then it's almost like a waste. It's about coming to the realization that who you are is not governed by, your constant heavy thoughts. It's governed by how you're able to be present with yourself in your best times. Being present with yourself when you're feeling your best and understand how that feels, and focus on trying to get back to that. Not necessarily chasing the feeling, but embodying it. Embodying just the way you are and the way that you're expressing yourself for a given moment. I feel like that's what's important. To somewhat look at the world, not necessarily through your eyes, but through your feelings. And that's, I guess, sort of hard to articulate, sort of hard to grasp, but I feel like it's really important for us to sort of break down the barriers we've created inside of our own head as it pertains to ourselves and our own understanding. I feel like a lot of us put ourselves in these boxes, put ourselves in these restrictive agreements with ourselves, and tell ourselves that, there's certain things that we can achieve, there's certain things that we can't do, and just go with the flow. Allow yourself to act upon your highest purpose, act upon your highest intention and what you want. It's okay to want stuff, but be careful with your expectations. I feel like any desire is worthwhile as long as you don't have expectation. You can want something without expecting to get it. You can acknowledge that something would be great to possess. You can make yourself feel like you already possess it in any way that's sort of limiting the expectation, because you already have to feel like you have it. Expressing gratitude for what you have yet to have makes it a lot easier to attack those things. It makes it a lot easier to go for it. You already feel like you have it, then you have no restrictions. You have no thing feeling like it's holding you back. Like, for example, if I, for example, I want to publish a book eventually. And if I'm in my head constantly like, oh man, I want to publish this book. I want it to do good. I want to feel good about this book. I need things to show me. I need this book to be great so people like it, so I can feel good about it. And I'm going through that process. I'm going to be super stressed about people's opinions and how everyone else looks at it other than myself. But if I just take the time to appreciate it myself and say to myself, oh, my work is great. I like my work. I love what I do. Regardless of what I'm putting out here, if I can tell myself, if I can understand that I like it myself, then I'll have no obligation to be like, I need that from somewhere else. I need other people to tell me this. I'm going to act upon it in a way that's befitting of me. Embodying sort of the feeling that I feel for it and expressing that confidence through the lack of need for validation. I feel like that's what confidence is in a very minute way. Being able to give yourself the validation that, the world deprives you of sometimes. And sometimes the world isn't supposed to show you everything. Sometimes you're supposed to show the world. Show the world what your internal world can do, what your internal self can do. Like once you get to that point, it's not necessarily smooth sailing. Everything's a journey, but it broadens your understanding. It makes you realize, how certain people do what they do. I feel like expression in this sense is a beautiful thing. You have to express something. Like I was just watching a music video, And I was really thinking about like what these people were talking about, and sort of the lyrics and sort of the art style and everything that came together to create what it was. And I'm like, some of these ideas are pretty profound, pretty grandiose. Like, it just shows that there's a part of us, there's pieces and parts of us that transcend even our own understanding of human capability. And that is to say, like, to know it's humanly possible means you too can do it. But, you know, the only limits that you have are the ones that you agree with, the ones that you place upon yourself. So be intentional, be mindful of the way you are connotating yourself and connotating the world around you, because at the end of the day, those are the only restrictions you roll with. Someone can tell you something, someone can connotate you, oh, you're this, you're this, you're that. And it's only true if you believe them. You know, it only impacts you if you believe them. So stop looking externally for your internal spoils. Realize that you have everything you need within you now. There's no past self to overcome nor future self to achieve. Everything is here now. You're enough now. You are somebody now. Start acting like it, you know. Start treating yourself like someone you're trying to help, because you are someone. All that to say, thank y'all. Much appreciated. These finals is punching me. Right now, it's late at night. I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm tired. I'm delusional right now, but it's okay. I got an exam in the morning, or well, I will have had an exam the morning that I'm posting this, and I want to make sure I get some good sleep. So I'm making this video late at night. I hope everyone else's finals and whatnot is going good. I know some of y'all in college, some of y'all are. Now I hope everybody's life is going good in general. Hope y'all got that promotion you been working for. Hope y'all do a push up, clap in the air, and tell yourself good job. You know, you got to do these certain things sometimes. Some days it's hard, some days it's not. And all days you have to appreciate yourself regardless of how good or bad it is. You know, I talked about it in the video before. There's no like could have, you know, only did. You know, learn to appreciate regardless of what you did. Like sometimes, you know, I get in a situation, sometimes I'll make a choice, like I'll hang out with this person instead of this person. And I'll be like, dang, should I have done this? Like, could I have done something different? And I'm like, really, that does nothing to save you. You just have to learn to appreciate the cards you're dealt, or the cards you allow yourself to get dealt. It does nothing for you to constantly live in that fear and that constant mental disdain of, should I have done this? Should I have done that? Just appreciate what you did. Learn how to move forward with that, because at the end of the day, that's all you can do. All that exists is the present, and whatever altered fractured reality you're thinking of doesn't exist and will never exist. So be mindful of that too, y'all. Thank you. Stay tapped in. Like I told y'all, summer's coming. Podcast channel's coming out soon. I've been uploading some of the stuff to Spotify, so go check that out. It's the one that says Profound Podcast by EMB, not the one that says whatever else. That's not me. I ain't gonna say don't support them, but it's not me and they're imitating me. Thank you guys. Keep being you. Keep being great. Stay blessed.